Today on We Need to Talk, we continue our conversation with Fishstick from IDK Radio, and Fishstick's going to tell a story about his dad, an embarrassing story. Very embarrassing. We Need to Talk.
My dad purchased the URL of a school in the town I grew up in because they didn't have it yet. It was sort of the earlier days. It was the name of my elementary school.com. And he was like trying to set up a website for them just because, like, that's what he did. But they did something really crappy, and so he turned their entire website into just this big, nasty open letter, and it was like their URL. And so that was something that he did. And had I been more conscious as a child of the world, I would have been embarrassed.
Well, Mason, you and I had a joke that I bought a URL about. Well, I've bought a few URLs for you.
You really have, and I'm incredibly grateful.
One of them was, and I don't remember how it came about. Maybe you can remind me. BurtReynoldsLeftNut.com.
.fun, wasn't it?
Oh, okay.
That one didn't
I think
resolve.
I got the .com.
Oh, that one didn't resolve either. Did it?
No. I've since relinquished control.
Okay,
but you ever get? Go ahead.
I have no recollection of where that came from, Steve, but I know it was something we were talking about.
It was a joke of some sort, and I think I just had it redirect to something, just in case someone ever put it in. I didn't own the right nut, just the left nut.
Can you imagine if you were the person who typed in BurtReynoldsLeftNut.com and got somewhere? I would be over the moon. I would tell my grandparents, and they'd be like, oh, that's Bill Gates with the 5G. And then I would just be so excited. I would tell everybody.
Absolutely. It's great marketing. But so you ever buy a lot of URLs and then GoDaddy calls you? Because that happens to me all the time.
What?
So GoDaddy calls me, and they're like, hey, do you want to start setting up a website for your new domains? It looks like you have a lot of them. Do you want to be a reseller? You can buy at a discount, and then you can sell it at a premium. Do you want to be in our membership program where you get discounts based on what you buy?
Hey, Daddy, go away. That's a bit aggressive.
They call me about, and I mean, I actually did buy into that because it ended up over the course of a year, it's going to save me hundreds of dollars because I have so many URLs. But he was reading through the list of my URLs. He's like, I see you haven't done anything with Podcast Montana, Podcast OH, BurtReynoldsLeftNut.com. And I'm like, I just lost it. He's like, I take it that was a joke. I'm like, absolutely, but guess what? I'm going to redirect that bad boy.
So that was like a real person that called?
A human being?
Oh, yeah. A human being.
To you?
Oh, yeah. And a human being had to read and ask me if I wanted to make a website for BurtReynoldsLeftNut.com. And I was not embarrassed, but I cannot imagine I don't know whether he was or not.
You should have been like, I don't know, do you? He asked.
Paint me a word picture. What would that look like in your mind's eye?
Are you thinking e-commerce? Like an OnlyFans sort of thing? Mm-hmm. Is there a...
Man, Burt Reynolds, you got a big left nut.
That was one of our friends, actually. He popped into his hand, and it's like the size of his hand, like his palm. It was incredible.
And all the girls wanted to see it?
Why does everyone have one of these stories? Every person I know has a friend who at some point bragged about the size of their testicles and would demonstrate it in opportune times. What was the name of your friend who did that? First name only, please.
Well, we're going to do the last name, Windsor. And it's like he didn't brag about it. Like he got caught in the shower from his friend, Austin. And that's the first name. And Austin was like, Austin just liked to look at nuts in the shower. And he noticed just the left one. Actually, I think in his case it was the right one. The right one was big. And then he told the other football team players that, it was big. And then, that's how everyone found out. Everyone wanted to take a look. But Windsor was like, no, I don't want other people to know and see it. But then everyone, of course, looked at it because it's a football team. And they all had a look. And then the whole gym, that's where I found it. And also Steve looked at it, Steve and I were standing next to each other, so.
I didn't look at it, no.
No, you were next to me.
I wasn't looking.
Why did you come in with me to look at it then?
I don't know. Did I know what I was doing?
Well, you're like, this is the best thing I've ever seen. Okay, I'm putting words in your mouth because this is my internal monologue at the time. Like, this is the best thing that could have ever happened. Like, seeing Windsor's left nuts.
This.
is his right nut.
Well, I don't remember that. I remember specifically not looking to respect his privacy.
And then the whole question was like, do you jerk off? And he's like, no. And it's like, that's the problem. You're not jerking off enough. Like, I think that's what the doctor told him is like, just jerk off more.
That's not. There's no way that is. I'm not a doctor, but that's not. You can't. That doesn't. Nope. I don't like that. I refuse to live in a reality where that's the case.
Apparently.
Why would it only be one?
That's a pretty good prescription to have to write out, though.
Pee is stored in the balls.
Well, that's the thing though. Like, doctors will prescribe you prostate stimulators if you don't jerk off enough, because it's like, the prostate's building up a lot of fluid. You gotta like actually relieve it. So here is a prostate stimulator to relieve some of that buildup.
What?
Wait, is this like a cum pill?
No, it's probably like a stick that shakes. I guess a vibrator is the word for that because it already exists.
And we make it all the way back to butt plugs.
It kind of is a pill though, because that's actually a thing. Because if you don't come a lot, if you don't, let's use the scientific term. If you don't ejaculate a lot, it causes some of that to stay inside your testes. I mean, there's a lot of things going on here, but it causes some of the testes to keep the old stuff, right? Some of the old cells, and then those start building up. They're not actually old, but they don't actually like release into the world. But you want those cells to release into the world. That way you don't have the old cells, and that way the new cells come into being. And those new cells, what they do is they are less prone to cancer.
I'm pretty sure you just reabsorb them. I'm pretty sure you just reabsorb them. Because, like, there's no...
Oh, are you saying you're coming inside yourself?
Yes, and there's no way that... There's no way. This sounds like something that you'd post as a meme in a mom Facebook group that's all anti-vax or something. Like, there's no way that's... I have to look this up.
Anti-vax pro-masturbation.
If...
My favorite mom group on Facebook.
Masturbate. Do balls. Go big.
Google just says yes. Mason's about to find out some things that he doesn't want to know.
I'm on Quora.com, the world's most renowned source of information that is factual.
I remember when that first came out, and you would text a question to a number, and people would research it and send it back. Yeah, Quora started that way too.
I got some I used to love Cha-Cha. I remember sending them the dumbest things like, can Christmas lights be used as anal beads? And they were like, ensure that they are not plugged in, and also we suggest purchasing real ones. And they were no fun because they were always assuming that everything was asked in good faith, and I just wanted entertainment.
I remember you could sign up to like be the person who gets those texts, researches, and sends back answers. And there were people in my college who actually signed up to do that. And you made awful money, but it was money just for answering texts. I want to share with you what I've just discovered on Quora. So this question was asked, and the name is not shown as who the question asker is, but the question is, if I don't masturbate, will my balls explode? And the top answer is from Mark Shaneblum, who has a bachelor's in English with creative writing and history from Concordia University in Montreal. Just who I want to answer in this question.
And he says, yes, it's tragic. Walk down any busy street in any city in the world, and inevitably you'll be wingled by deadly testicle shrapnel when some poor dude's personal space just detonates in his pants. The U.S. Geological Survey can sometimes detect these events on their seismographs. If the detonatee is wearing heavy denim jeans, you'll probably be safe. But once it's summertime and the Bermuda shorts come out of storage, you may risk death by flying testes every time you step out the door. So maybe there's something to what Nate said.
Maybe he earned that bachelor's degree.
Yeah. I shouldn't.
That was the advice the doctor gave, though. Like, masturbate, and the semen that was building up will kind of be released to the world. Those earthquakes that were happening in, say, this is a offensive joke, but those earthquakes were happening in Haiti. Okay, this is like a 2009 joke as well. Yeah. They won't happen anymore.
That was a really bad, not topical at all offensive thing.
Yeah, like that was almost like you were like, how can I find something to be offensive about out of nothing?
Like, let's go back to 2010 and find some offensive things.
Right. You know, I'm not going to make you dig through my history. I'm going to make a problematic joke about then, now. Take that.
I think the most offensive thing is like they got rid of Godfrey, but that's not what offends me. But they made the duck not the thing of Affleck. Now Affleck doesn't have a duck.
Why did they? I forget why they did that. Who was the duck? Wasn't it Gilbert Gottfried?
Yep.
And what did he do? I forgot. He did something shitty though, right?
He made a joke about Haiti.
You mean Haiti?
Haiti.
Oh, High 80, the sequel to High C.
Haiti. Oh, like that's just how I remember the name. Like Haiti. Like 80's like the second part of the name, and this is like you tell him hi.
Is that why he got kicked off of being the Affleck duck?
Yeah. He made like a bad joke on Twitter or something like that.
I didn't know that.
Oh, I wrote in 2011. I wrote a rap, and one of the lyrics was like "Haiti make you quake."
Oof.
It was topical at the time.
My favorite subreddit is Aged Like Milk. I don't know if you've been there.
So is it like 99% Trump posts?
There's some of that. Yeah, Reddit is inundated with that. But there's just a lot of stuff that's like did not age well, and it's very fun to peruse.
It's really, really embarrassing for those people.
Yes, there we go. There's that. I cast the line into the water, and all the fish were like, I don't know what he wants. So thank you.
You're welcome.
You know, I just want to like pivot just for a second here because this is an idea I came up with a while back on the podcast, and it came to being ASMR porn. It's a thing now. It is great.
It is.
I haven't actually watched it, but ASMR porn.
I was going to say all porn is ASMR porn if you don't live alone and you have to keep the volume down really low. But I didn't know it was deliberately a thing.
Yeah, well, it's essentially just like usually girls just kind of like being topless or, without clothes and just kind of like, giving little things. And, sometimes they twerk and kind of, the twerking of their butt cheeks makes a great sound. So that's the thing. I haven't actually watched it. This is just me like coming up with ideas. Like,
I'm a professional ASMR twerker.
That'd be a hell of a thing to put on a resume. You know those crazy styrofoam heads that they use to make the microphones because they have like the shaped ears and the microphones sit inside the ears of the styrofoam head, and that's how they do like good ASMR recordings. My first thought was that it's like someone doing porn and they just have one of those like ratchets strapped to the top of their head to catch the audio.
I thought the ratchets were the ones doing the porn.
What? Oh, that's slang. That didn't catch on where I live in. Okay.
Yeah, that's slang.
Yeah, it took me. I was like, I couldn't parse that.
Another idea I came up with, and no one's done this except for myself. The videos will never be released, hopefully. But porn reactions, it's like you react to the porn, you give a commentary. Like, but like my idea is like you react to the porn, but you don't actually like masturbate or anything. There's no sexual thing. You just kind of get like commentary, like, oh man, like the place where they're living, that must be like a pretty expensive neighborhood. Oh man, I kind of like that walls.
So you dissect the scene.
There's that dude Ryan Creamer. I think it's Ryan Creamer who posts wholesome content on Pornhub. Like I read you a bedtime story and keep all of my clothes on. Or like, I wish you well as you search for the perfect video. And it's just him in a suit being kind.
Yeah, Who Wants Bananas was talking about him. And I agree with them because one of the cases they were making is that Pornhub is a video database service, just like YouTube, except you're not going to be demonetized for anything. In fact, you'll probably get more money the more of like, what's that called? Risque or whatever that you are. So I personally believe Pornhub right now is the single most underutilized service for video streaming and video watching on the planet.
Who is it owned by? Is it also a Google property?
I think it's a Canadian company. Like, I think I've looked into that a little bit. But they actually have crazy servers. Like, they have very high-tech server technology.
How did we have such an insightful conversation earlier and like it was like so deep and scientific, and then we wound up talking about swollen testicles?
Hashtag smart comedy.
We have to get an extra, like, say 5 minutes out of this topic. So blue balls. I didn't think blue balls were a thing. I thought they didn't exist. And then I had them.
they're like every podcaster buys them because they're told that it's the right microphone for any situation. But it's really not, because you need a nice, quiet room.
And then people will put one blue ball in the center of the room and everyone will talk. And they're like, oh, there's our podcast.
Yeah, and it doesn't work that way. There's a lot of misconceptions about blue balls. They're way overutilized. And I think they suck, personally. I don't enjoy them. I don't like them. I think their price is a little too high for what you get. That said, those Yetis, which are made by the same people who make the blue balls, the Yetis, the big thick ones, are actually decent in the right room.
Yeah. Now, blue balls, what does that, Nate, what does that have to do as far as edging goes?
Edging? Well, okay.
Are those in the same vein?
Well, you can give yourself blue balls by edging. Okay. So actually, I don't know what's happening here, because you guys are trolling me. Okay, I'm not sure if Mason's trolling me here.
Yes.
I feel like Mason just like doesn't know what blue balls are, because he's never experienced them.
He's trolling you hard, buddy.
Is he trolling me hard? I hope he is.
I will never tell my secrets. I need to pick up lemons from the store.
What you making with lemons, buddy?
It's actually limes. I keep getting it wrong. We're making some an Asian dish for sticky rice and sot, which is like
chicken blue balls.
It's like a pounded up pork, so it's the opposite of that.
So you guys are going to be pounding pork later.
Yeah.
So we're back on topic.
Yep. Now I'm with you, Nate. I am 26 years old. I know what it is of what you speak.
You're only 26?
I'm 26.
Man, I would have guessed like 27 and a half.
Oh, well, thank you. I'm flattered. I only have one gray hair. I will have two by then. And that is my future, I think. I don't...
Wonderful.
So what were you... Did you just like, yeah, let's just say some blue balls words and then we won't go anywhere with it? Or do you have a story? Nate, do you need some help? I just became a doctor, according to Quora. You can put anything there and they don't check it. So,
just come, baby. I'm a doctor.
Well, okay, I had a point, but then you guys started trolling me with the blue Yetis. And then I'm like, okay. Well, the question was...
Why do you think there aren't any more Yetis? Because they're blue balls.
Plenty of people still use the blue Yetis, though. That's the part. Okay.
I meant like abominable snow Yetis.
There are. So how about you get those lies out of your mouth?
Yeah? Where?
Yeah, Bigfoot's
Where?
real. In their home.
Whoa. Hold up. Yeti and Bigfoot are completely different things.
They're completely different, but they're not.
That's false.
They're the same thing in different regions.
No. That's
Just
like
like
saying penguins and crows are the same thing because they have wings and can walk sometimes.
No, it's not. It's like saying a sparrow in Maine is different than a sparrow in California. It's the same fucking thing, just a different brand.
No, a Yeti is an entirely different... They have a different physiology. A Yeti has 4 stomachs and hibernates in the winter. A Bigfoot has more of an ape-like physiology.
No, they're both ape-like.
Yetis eat grass.
No, they don't.
They dig through the snow and eat the grass after it dies because the grass dies and all of the nutrients sit there under the snow, and it's kind of like a fermenting process, which brings up some of the minerals from the soil, and that's what they eat. And then also, much like bears, they form plugs at the ends of their rectums from all of the stringy, fibrous material that they eat, and then they hibernate.
Wait, plugs?
Yeah, bears do that when they hibernate. And this is, okay, I'm not joking anymore. Bears make their own butt plugs because they eat a bunch of fibrous things, and it stops them up so that when they hibernate, it is a real thing.
Well, Yetis eat tauntauns. We all know that.
Yes, Yetis eat tauntauns.
Watch the documentary Star Wars.
And wontons.
Nate?
I am just amazed.
You've lost the plot, huh?
Well, yeah, okay. So I'm going to be like completely honest here. My blood sugar's been way too low for long right now, which kind of makes things more interesting sometimes. So this is just like great entertainment. But
you're edging death.
Yeah, I mean... Okay. I've lost the plot, but now I just need to go on a euclid here. So sometimes it's like when blood sugar's low, it's like, oh, I should like take some food. But then again, I think I've accepted my death. This is actually gonna be all right. Like death. I mean, this is the worst way to die because not too many people actually die because of low blood sugar. Usually they die because of like medical complications. But you know, like say your arteries just start clogging up. I don't know how that works, but I'm okay with death now. And then I started thinking a little bit more, and I'm like, this would be hard to explain to my mom, like that I'm in the hospital because, I'd started just accepting my death. So, let's just like not die, and that's what I do. So then I take some, I don't know, I drank some OJ, and I'm like, okay, good boy.
You can do it.
That sounds like depression.
Yeah, yeah.
What? No.
Yeah, no, like straight up.
Oh, okay.
I'm okay with death, so I'm not going to drink orange juice.
But I'm only not going to because it'd be hard to explain to my mom. That's like literally the thought process that can happen when someone is suffering from depression. Are you doing all right?
Okay, so there's two different subjects here. Number one is that I am afraid of dying each and every day. I do not ever want to die. But the other time thing is sometimes I just get so lazy because my blood sugar is low, and I'm like, whatever.
Oh, okay. That's different. That's low blood sugar. What you said was like, I was legitimately concerned for you, but now I know you're just dumb.
Yeah, good.
Just kidding. That was really mean. I love you, Nate. I'm sorry.
Well, I assume we all have depression, right? Because I am depressed and also manic at the same time. Like, I go between the two.
That's manic depressive disorder, and that's different. I'm not depressed. I have close friends who do deal with clinical depression, and I realize that I just am sad sometimes because depression is a bear. That is a whole different animal. We could do a whole episode on that.
That sounds fun.
Holy shit. This would be the best guest to discuss depression with, because I feel like we'd actually have a good conversation about it.
Me?
Oh my god, yes.
Although I feel like any conversation we have with Mason is going to be a good conversation.
Aw.
Well,
that's
a good
flattering.
point.
I was starting to feel like I had lost the plot a little bit because we spiraled so far from the original topic and ended up on bare butt plugs, which I want to bounce back onto that stepping stone for just a brief moment because I figured out how they do it. Right before hibernation, they eat bark, pine cones, and their own hair, and that forms the plug. And that is not a joke.
Okay.
Whoa.
Hello, boys. Get ready for podcast time.
Now recording.
I thought discussion was going here, to be honest, was that we should market a special type of butt plug, but the bears. I mean, not like bears, like the animal, but
Yes.
that one category gay porn.
Yes.
That I've only learned about from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
And they're going to be called bear plugs.
Oh yeah, there's like a
Yes.
whole subculture.
And they're vegan.
Are they vegan?
They're made of grass and bark.
Oh,
the
butt plugs
bear
are
plugs.
vegan. Okay.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
not
yeah.
vegan.
Why not?
There's bear hair.
Wait, hair isn't vegan?
No, any part of an animal isn't vegan. Even chicken eggs is non-vegan. There's a vegan animal sanctuary that is up the road from us, and they have a bunch of chickens that they rescued, and they throw the eggs into the woods. And I have no problem with veganism generally, but I do feel like that is wasting something that could be a food source, and chickens would make them anyway. So that seems bizarre to me.
Yeah, that one's weird.
Yeah.
So, okay, Meter, I think you're gonna love this idea. So, and I'm just riffing because my blood sugar is low, and I like making content. So, maybe we market things as vegan, right? And the thing is, people say they're vegan because they think, oh, this is vegan, I can eat this. But the thing is, we're saying that the thing itself is vegan. Like the soda can is vegan because it doesn't consume meat.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
But
Yes.
the thing is, we trick people, and that's our marketing ploy. It's ingenious.
Yes, I'm sure no one will catch on.
I love this idea.
God.
I have my doubts about its efficacy.
What do you mean? We could just lure them out of court.
I'm confident in its efficacy. I'm not confident in its efficacy.
Its efficacy. I think what you'd be doing is essentially starting a law firm with a side hustle.
No, we'd be supporting a law firm full of vegan lawyers.
Okay.
Who are supporting the rights of all of these objects and foods to be vegan. This is a vegan chicken. The chicken itself was vegan.
Have you ever owned chickens? Because they are not vegan. They will eat each other alive.
Well, they are. Yes, I have, and they are if you feed them only vegan stuff.
Well, I mean, we only feed our chickens their little layer pellets, and yet they still have been ripping each other's feathers out and pecking each other until they bleed.
Well, you got aggressive birds.
And they were all hens that
get
came
them
together. I don't know what the deal is. It's actually a problem we're working
You gotta get them non-aggressive anymore.
We got to somehow.
Music.
Chicken music. What kind of music do you think chickens like? Probably something plucked.
Well, they like heavy
I think
metal.
Nate wants me
but
to
that's not going
die.
to help. But that's not going to help with your problem. You don't want to be playing what they like necessarily. You want to be manipulating their emotions and putting them in a calmer state. So you want like classical, and not classical, the stuff with like cannons, but the calmer classical
So
stuff.
not like Yo-Yo Ma. Okay.
No.
Who's the other crazy classical composer that like more modern?
All of them.
All of them? No,
They were all on
there's
cocaine.
there's Yo-Yo Ma, and then there's the other one who does it's really cool instrumentation. I'm pretty sure it's another Y name.
Oh, have you ever heard the Death Waltz?
It sounds
Because
familiar.
that is fucking. It's impossible to play on piano, but it's written on piano. And there are people who have attempted, and it's too much.
Yeah. It's like a black MIDI file.
You can only. It's hardcore, but it's really cool sounding.
Nate, have you heard of black MIDI, Nate?
No.
Oh, it's called that because the notation is almost entirely filled up, so that when you look at the MIDI like layout, it's almost entirely black with notes. But it's a style of composition in which you try and hit everything all the time and still have it sound good. It's a YouTube rabbit hole that you can go down, and after you go down it for a while, you will start to lose your sense of self. Not self with a TH. Because
I posted it in our Discord.
So is this something where people are actually composing stuff, or is this kind of bullshit where people use an algorithm? Like,
some of it's bullshit, some of it's legit and really cool.
Okay.
Death Waltz is like that. I think it might be like the original.
Death Waltz is amazing. I imagine it's what Death would play on the piano if Death played the piano and not the fiddle.
it's like it.
Charlie Daniels passed away recently.
Cool topic, buddy.
Which is sad. I'm sorry. It's sad, but also he was like, I was like reading up on him after that. I was like, oh no, he's the Devil Went Down to Georgia guy. But he also said like a lot of really shitty stuff. So then I was like, oh no, that's also sad.
Yeah, and what's really sad is that this episode is going to end. More just because I'm in the future here editing, and I'm getting tired. And yeah, so next week we're going to continue the saga, the end of the saga. We need to go to talk. We need to talk.